Brian, what you gonna read tonight?
Oh, hello everyone. There's just two things this time. One is my favourite of the hundreds of soliloquies from Shakespeare. And this one is from the Scottish play. And then after that, I want to read, if I may presume, a piece of my own writing, and it's about the last days of our fellow member and actor, Henry Irving.
Member where?
Of the Garrick Club.
Okay.
First of all, this is from the Scottish play, Act 5, Scene 5. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And this about Henry Irving, the first actor ever to be knighted by the monarch. Oh. And this is the end of his life and career, and it's from a series that the club commissioned on members from various professions. The first book in the series is called The Actors, and they asked me to write it, which was a great honour, and I was very pleased and very happy. It's the only book I've written in a very short time, because it was written not for the public but for my friends.
Wow.
With the turn of the century, Irving's formidable strength was failing. After years of strenuous activity and intense concentration in full public view, his heart weakened and he suffered from minor fatigue, then major collapse. In 1905, he summoned the power to appear as Becket at Drury Lane, despite obvious difficulty. Word went around London that Sir Henry Irving was in the process of dying in front of his public, slowly, surely, sadly, night after night. Feeble and quiet in the wings, as soon as he gained centre stage, the old magic returned, the blood coursed through his veins to buoy him up and carry him through. Truly, the theatre was his home, more so than the place where he slept, or the club where he dined with friends. The audience knew it too, and they cheered and shouted their love at him, with standing ovations every night. They could scarcely believe what they were witnessing, and willed it not to happen. Afterwards he went to Bradford, where he gave a final performance of The Bells, in which his grandson would report it was an agony to watch him. He sent the stage sets back to London the following day in sober and rueful acknowledgement that he would not need them ever again. Then he played his favourite role of Becket, which appeared to go well until the final words, which rang out with uncanny firmness as Becket died. Into thy hands, O Lord, into thy hands. He stumbled, clearly exhausted, and collapsed into the arms of Gerald Lawrence, another Garrick member. Helped into a cab, he arrived at the Midland Hotel, where he immediately called for a chair as he entered. It was a small wooden chair, without arms. He slumped onto it, then lost consciousness and slid to the floor. He was dead just minutes after leaving the stage for the last time. The population of Bradford turned out to salute his coffin as it went through the streets to the railway station, men raising their hats in silence. In London, the noble columns at the portico of the Lyceum Theatre were draped in black, and everywhere flags hung at half-mast as if for royalty. Ellen Terry was appearing at the Gaiety, Manchester, in a play called Alice Sit by the Fire, in the closing scene of which she had to say, "I had a beautiful husband once. Black as the raven was his hair." She faltered, choked, was overcome and broke down utterly. The curtain descended, and the audience filed out in silence, feeling they had intruded upon a private sorrow. Irving received the ultimate accolade of being interred in Westminster Abbey. The funeral cortege passed through crowded streets to muffled drums, a performance too poignant to bear for many who were there. All the ushers in the Abbey were fellow actors. The coffin, symbolic rather than real, for it contained his ashes, not his corpse, was borne by 14 pallbearers, including Forbes Robertson, Squire Bancroft, John Hare, Charles Wyndham, George Alexander, and Prt4, and it was accompanied by a cross sent by Queen Alexandra. 2 French actors came from the Comédie Française in Paris and knelt beside the coffin as flowers were strewn. In an unprecedented gesture, still mentioned today as part of London's unique character, the city's cab drivers tied black ribbons to their whips. More than all these tributes, from the highest to the lowest, there was one which would have broken even Henry Irving's aloof, lonely reticence and caused him to weep. The news of his death had been given on a telegram to Prt4 at the Garrick Club, where he was dining. His sober look passed by osmosis from person to person and from room to room, whereupon everyone, wordless, left his meal on the table and walked out of the club in solemn silence.
My God.
Without Henry Irving, the building was indeed better left empty. The chair on which he died is now on the second landing of the Great Staircase.
Wow.